Hello everyone. You know what makes me super happy to be able to say? The current Overwatch is the best Overwatch has ever been. And initially it sounds like, okay? But think about that, right? It's often rare for a game as time progresses to get just better and better, especially in such strength that Overwatch has managed. Yeah, you get people that think every season is worse than the last, and it's getting more and more toxic and more unbalanced, and apparently you become a Murloc when you complain. But I think on a whole level, the game, its surrounding, supporting how Blizzard are dealing with it, how they're doing updates, the events, the items, the settings, everything that is being added and built upon. I don't think there is anything in this game that has gotten worse, and hell, I don't think there's anything in this game that has not gotten better significantly since the inception of the game. And that's really cool, but it's more than that, right? There's a bigger thing going on here, and primarily, that thing is, in my opinion, the future of Overwatch really has just begun. It's just been secured. And the reason I think that is because of what Infinite Ultimates have done for the game. And you might think, well, surely they've not done much. Yeah, it's a fun gimmick, but I mean, it's just a custom setting, come on. But that's the thing. Long ago, I waxed lyrical about how many years from now, when Overwatch is a dried up old husk of what it used to be, the thing that will keep it going, like Warcraft before it, is the custom scene. That will always grow as the players do, and as more and more tools are given to the player, more and more complex, different, unique, custom game modes are created that are not just normal Overwatch but with a twist, that end up hooking people in a way the actual game mode didn't. Think of the thousands upon thousands of people who played Warcraft 3 but never actually played Warcraft 3. They played Dota, but that didn't really matter because they were still technically playing Warcraft 3. And that exact same thing I predicted, wanted, said Overwatch needed. And it looks like it really is going in that direction, because it's been consistent now. Over the last year, more and more awesome custom settings are being added, and we're starting to get to the point where they're really pushing it, where they're adding things that are being requested. I honestly think the next step is actually to add settings that aren't just, well, make sense, an increase or a decrease or a percentage, you know? I think we're not far off having stuff like a third-person mode be added, or a locked camera, or just having a no cap on how much percent you can increase or decrease something by, you know? Let people go mental. It's a custom game. It doesn't matter if people put 10 billion% movement speed, press W, and instantly teleport through a wall off the map and kill themselves. Who cares, right? I want to kill myself by teleporting off the map. Should have phrased that differently. I definitely should. Not sure why we don't have things like infinite Genji deflect and infinite other moves that would apply, and why things like Reaper ulti and Pharah ulti got left out of the infiniteness. Because imagine ulting on Pharah and you're just frozen there, never stopping raining justice until someone kills you. You are a permanent missile storm turret. That could be awesome, though then again, maybe that's why they do it. Maybe that's why the custom settings take so long to come out, because they do actually want to make sure that they're somewhat, air quotes, playable. But in my mind, that kind of defeats the point. Surely it's better to go, here's a huge box of Lego, go mental. I don't care if you create a masterpiece or step on it. That is your decision to make, my friend. That is your decision to make. Because, you know, all just, oh yeah, this would be you, haha, aside, What was that? This is genuinely, I would be gobsmacked if not, in Blizzard's pipeline. Because they're not stupid. They've seen Warcraft. They've seen what the power of a community driving content can do for a game. They see the YouTube, the Twitch, and how that supports everything. Everyone does. Actually giving your community modding tools to make stuff to keep people engaged, even just because they will generate ideas that you yourself will take and change. They've already done it. They've hired people based on their Overwatch fan creations, and actually adding the ability for them to create stuff. The actual events within the game would get so much better, because you'd have Mr. Fantastic Modder Bombastic over there making a glorious campaign, emotional, difficult, exciting, heart-pounding PvE mission, and Blizzard would be like, you, we like your style. Come work for us and make the next Uprising-esque event mission. You can do a way better job than we did, and that is entirely likely and has happened in the past. It is a win-win for Blizzard to give some sort of, at first primitive, but more and more advanced modding tool and proper custom game framework to the players. It benefits everyone and the longevity of the game massively, and this is proven by past example in one of Blizzard's own games. So this is almost a certainty to me, and it's really cool to see it finally happening. Oh, Infinite Ultimates have... It's like they've ignited something within me. It is sad that not everyone gets them, but I guess it makes sense, because you can't really have an Infinite D.Va ult. It'd just be... I mean, it'd just be really awkward. You just get in the way of a selfie, mainly. Give up and go back home. And that's how D.Va died. Tragic. I will admit, though, that Infinite Ultis does allow me to make a parody that I have been wanting to make ever since Overwatch came out. I'm so happy.
McCree
walked up to a lemonade stand and he said to the man running the stand,
"Hey, got any fruit?"
The man said, "No, we just sell lemonade, but it's cold and it's fresh and it's all homemade. Can I get you a glass?" The duck said,
"It's high noon."
Then he waddled away, waddle, waddle, till the very next day.
But the reason I really have started thinking about this and bringing it up again is because of what Infinite Ults did for me and the group of people I play Overwatch with. Obviously, I still play it a lot. I've not played competitive properly in a while because I simply don't have the time to be as good as I used to be, and it bugs me not being that good and trying to play competitive. So, you know, I keep up on the scene. Obviously, I intrinsically I do, but, you know, personal play has definitely gone down, but I still adore the game from its just silly, fun standpoint. It's just a pleasure to play. It's been 2 years, but as soon as you're in control of one of the characters, it's just so satisfying. And the thing is, you know, we've been playing it as usual, but out of everything that's happened since Overwatch began, all of the science, all of the events, all of the custom game modes I've done, all of the new heroes, all of the new maps, the competitive, the arcade, the deathmatch arena, which I still adore, it needs to be an actual competitive mode, like, come on! And by the way, I cannot wait for people to have their own custom sort of gladiator maps for proper one-on-ones with actual mechanics, and oh, we need the ability to choose frickin' abilities from other heroes and to create mashups like I talk about. Hell, it would totally be easy, right, to make a setting where you press ulti and then you use a random hero's ultimate and you snap teleport into that model. So you're running around on Genji, you press Q and then click, you're now Bastion transforming into a tank, and then you transform back and click, you're Genji again. I think that would be hilarious. It would look jarring, sure, and, you know, maybe it would need smoothing out eventually, but that would still be hilarious. Imagine, right? Every time you press Q, you instantly swap to another hero like you changed at spawn, but it's mid-fighting, and you use that hero's ult. And then, hell, just stay as them. Just stay as them until you get your ult and use it again. That would be absolutely fantastic. Hell, I actually think that would be one of the most popular custom game modes. I think that would be one of the first ones that is a mainstay. That you go on the custom games page, and you're like, oh, I feel like playing a game of whatever it would end up being called. I want you guys to come up with a name for that. I think that would have been one of the regulars that you'll always find people popularly playing, you know, like Dota was in Warcraft 3, or obviously not as popular, but generally one of them. Either way, I got a little bit distracted then. I bring this up because hearing of the infinite ults ignited an excitement in us, a desperate need to go on Overwatch, mess around with them, play, have fun, see what we could do, see what we could push, see what we could create, both game modes and just sheer spectacle. More, and I don't exaggerate, literally anything else. And is that not a little bit of magic? Is that not awesome? To create such buzz, such I need to play, based on simply adding an infinite ult setting. It's something we've wanted for ages as well. And the fact that that little toggle, that switch infinite on, created more hype to play Overwatch than, let's say, any event in the past year, that's really powerful, isn't it? And that's just a simple setting. Imagine the day they go, we are happy to announce our custom map editor toolkit for the players to use. Imagine that moment. It would be electric, because that would be a whole new age of Overwatch. And now that I have seen so many settings get added, I think now is the beginning of the really mature futuring of the game. I think we will start to see more and more complex things get added and created until we eventually reach the breaking point of a custom game mode that doesn't feel anything, not even slightly, like default Overwatch. Hell, there's loads of fan projects that are like that as well. You've basically got Overwatch Metroid, which is awesome. Granted, obviously it's not created Overwatch, but it's still a really cool project. But the thing is, something like this isn't actually that far away within the game itself. Hell, I bet you could create this with the existing tools already there. So, you have third-person camera, Reinhardt holding his shield out, so, and by the way, I would love, as I said, a third-person mode setting. Everybody is just controlling the character like a Reinhardt with his shield out, and you still have to try and aim in a proper way. Your aimer is still on your screen, but everything is from slightly different perspective, and you've got to get your depth perception a bit recalibrated. That would be a load of fun. Hell, you could have just Mei go and turned up to loads of damage, third-person, you just got to aim for each other down and kind of guess the aiming. I think that would be a lot of joy to experience, but that's by the by. What would be definitely possible, you lock the third person camera, rotate it so it's side on the character, okay, then you can only move left and right. So let's say it's side on, and you can only move forward and backwards. So from the perspective of the camera, you'd just be going left and right on the screen. You can't press A and D, you can't go anywhere else. You're locked in those forward and backward dimensions. You can jump, you could have Genji, so you could double jump it up, and then you can just create a simple bit of geometry. Hanzo, no! And have yourself just walking right, jumping over things. You could take the Uprising Omnics, they could come at you, and you could fight them. Hell, you're playing as Reinhardt, you can just click and swing your hammer. You don't even have to solve the aim problem. You give Reinhardt some extra jump height, some lower gravity, lock the camera like this, create a little bit of a map, and you can just walk right, have to dodge obstacles, jump over a gap. You could easily make Mario Classic World 1-1, except you're playing as angry German with a giant hammer in armor, which I think we can all agree is a bit superior to a plumber. Who do we want to fight, Mario or Reinhardt? The answer actually is depressingly Mario by a country mile. His feats are absolutely insane compared to Reinhardt. The idea of Mario bodying Reinhardt might seem strange, but legitimately it would be effortless for him. And you think about that, he would quite literally stomp him. Either way, imaginary fights aside, though aren't they just great fun, you could totally pull that off, and it would work very, very simply. It really, really would. And granted, you're not going to sit there all day playing side-scrolling Reinhardtio, but it's the start, right? It's the beginning. You could have a fixed third-person top-down camera and have a little bit more of a strategic view. Hell, you take that, you zoom way out, so you're looking almost top-down on a map. Again, you could take the Uprising Omnics, you could easily put something in that you click and then press a button which summons like 5 of them. They work like bot AI, except they don't move. They only auto-target and fire, and you could easily add a way to select them and make them move somewhere, and then you have the lovely basis for a proper Overwatch RTS game. Because how awesome would an Overwatch RTS game be, right? We have the whole Omnic War to do. You can play as the Omnics and, you know, change how it actually happened and win for them and dominate the planet. Or you can play as Russia with their giant mechs. You can play as the Junkers with all of their crazy contraptions and fight over Australia. You can play as Overwatch itself with its more militarized special ops units, right? There's already 4 factions you could easily have with unit types that kind of you can just lift from the game from the various things that they've used over the years, the heroes and the extras for all the game modes, and that would be so much fun. Granted, I would love just a separate game entirely, you know, the Battle for Middle Overwatch, because that game was fantastic, and that would make me super happy. And by the way, I still totally think that's entirely possible, because there is so much room for a properly expanded Overwatch universe. It would be a real marvel to behold. Good show. Hell, you could even frickin' do a Street Fighter Mortal Kombat-esque game. You have that side unlocked, only forward and back camera, and you could totally have a little fight over that. 2 Genjis jumping up and down, you have to time your shurikens going straight forward to hit each other. Yeah, it'd be very basic. Yeah, it won't be fun past the initial couple game novelty, but again, the potential is there, and honestly doable with what's already in game. We simply need Blizzard to press the button. And oh, I think they're so close to pressing that button. This one time, DD, you can see what the big red button does. I just made a Dexter's reference. Like, what in... Who sat here going, oh, Dexter's Lab, yeah! Like, from freaking 24. Actually, no, screw it. That show was awesome, and I will stand by that. I realize a lot of this, guys, is technically irrelevant, but I don't think there's anything wrong with just being excited and happy about the game and its future, right? And just talking about something that I found really cool and an actual realistic scenario going forward. Because either way, guys, I just wanted to wax lyrical and just be happy and positive about the game. I think that is awesome to do. Let me know if you like this kind of ramble excitement rant. Like if you did, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Rage Gaming with the video flow, shenanigans in Overwatch, and his fans all know that every single thumbnail that this man makes without fail makes you do a double take, catching your attention with every verse. See, say that you need healing but you're at his mercy. Get it? Cause it's a pun. On his channel, that's one of the better ones. Widow is venomous, I see no end to this. Cataclysm's imminent when Rage is in his element. Pandemonium is not familiar with irrelevance. Maximum Genji beam, oh so elegant. Jokes so funny causing you to cry. Editing is quality as the noon is high. Yo, concussion man, shoot to the sky. Cap it all off with a goodbye.